What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Gundam Side F exclusive high-grade Psycho Doga from Char's counterattack Beltorchika's Children. The unit that replaces Gyunei Guss's Geara Doga in the manga. It is a new type-use version of the Geara Doga with a Psycho frame cockpit for amplifying the pilot's powers. Being a high grade with an incredibly thick box, it comes with a total of 13 runners and a small sticker sheet, and despite it essentially being a white Geara Doga, the build is actually quite interesting to go through. Granted, it is my first time experiencing the Geara Doga mold, but the build feels like going through the evolution of Gunpla between the new head, chest, shoulder, and front skirt pieces and the rest of the body that is reused from the Rune kit. Though despite the simple construction and white base paint minimizing nut marks, the slightly metallic frame pieces can be a bit of a faff to clean up, which is oddly enough a rather common trait for kits of its time. Regardless, I did find the build more enjoyable and relaxing, and it shouldn't cause too much trouble to the average builder despite the old parts. Fully assembled, and what resulted is certainly an interesting looking mobile suit. Based entirely on Yanase's re-illustration for the manga, the head design and yellow on white color scheme gives it sort of a ship captain vibe, making it look like an entirely new mobile suit until you look into the finer details. Speaking of which, the color separation is fantastically done, especially the thruster rims on the shoulders and the insignia on the forehead, leaving only the mono eye, gorget patch, and backpack sensor to stickers. While the proportions are fairly accurate to the line arts, with some grey on the chest vents, rear skirt mounts, and leg thrusters being the only noticeable omissions. Well, of course, depending on the line arts you base your final build on. On a related note, while I'm happy to display the Psycho Doga as it is, some panel lining will further enhance and accent the kit due to it being mostly white, and some seam line coverage on the knees and ankle armor would be beneficial. Though the real eye catcher is the massive boosters on the back, which are the main problem of this kit. They look quite exaggerated compared to the line arts and can poke as far back as 15 cm from the tip of the crotch, which isn't exactly friendly to those who have limited shelf space. On the whole, the high-grade Psycho Doga is an incredible looking kit out of the box despite its reuse of parts, and can only go up from there with extra effort. Articulation starts with a hinged ball-jointed head, with the weird shape not really hindering the range of movement, while the mono eye can be accessed and moved from removing the front faceplate for some menacing death stares. The shoulders can swing forward massively, as well as rotate. The double hinged shoulder armor allows for the arms to raise perpendicularly. There's a bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, and ball jointed wrists. The torso features an extension that makes way for crunches, while the ball jointed waist provides further crunching range and a full waist rotation. The front and side skirts can move out of the way of the central leg swivels, while the legs can kick towards every direction decently. There's a thigh roll thanks to the ball jointed hip, double jointed knees, and hinged ball jointed feet. Finally, the boosters can swivel up and down with the bottom one on a slight ratchet, while the upper ones can flare in and out. The articulation isn't the strongest aspect of this kit, but it's still pretty impressive given its basis, though the kit is solid enough to stand up on its own despite the huge backpack as previously demonstrated, so posing should be no hassle, no fuss. For accessories, the Psycho Doga has a pair of holding hands, a right trigger finger hand, and a left open hand that has to share the left hand cover. For weapons, those begin with a beautifully part-separated mint green beam assault rifle. It plugs into the trigger finger hand for mid-range combat and looks pretty unique. Next is the beam sword axe, depicted with extended and retracted handles. The extended one can be used with the axe blade or beam spike effect parts, depending on your preference, while the short one can be used with the straight saber effect part, or be stored in the basket when not in use. However, you'll have to paint the handles in the rifle's green for full accuracy. Why they didn't mold new ones on the rifle's runner and leave those behind is beyond me. Besides, they are pretty loose in storage, so keep an eye out for that. A shield with stored missiles and rotating grenades, and a beautifully separated Neo Zeon insignia is included for its defense. It mounts onto the forearms with a bracket and is adjustable on a peg, and can be mounted onto the underside of the arm. Finally, 6 open funnels are included to replace the stored ones on the shoulders and display them being in use. They and the ports are compatible with 3mm pegs, so thankfully, a simple purchase of the G-Wish display base will suffice to send them out in a variety of displays. Leftovers include all the pieces to revert the kit back to the original Geara Doga variants, while providing it with extra weapons like the 2B machine guns, although it does require a lot of part swapping to equip them onto the Psycho Doga since a lot of the internals are already being used by the new parts. We're no strangers to Bandai repurposing old kits for new releases, sometimes to the kit's benefits while others to their detriment. The high-grade Psycho Doga definitely falls in the former category as it is a pleasant mix of old and new engineering that results in a kit with great straight build quality and a unique presentation. The age of the original Geara Doga certainly rears its ugly head in, especially when posing the actual kit, but I've still had a pleasant time posing it despite that. It's certainly not the best kit out there, but it feels like a good mix of both old and new that blends in well with the contemporaries. Well, alright, there are two major flaws with this kit. The over-exaggerated boosters will hurt badly if you're pinching on space, while the exorbitant price tag of 3,800 yen sans exclusivity and shipping will hurt equally badly. Nevertheless, if you're willing to splash out on a high-grade kit, this one is definitely up there as one of the better options, especially if you're a fan of the design. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.